So, welcome to this edition of Seen and Solved, presented by Hubbard-Hall. I'm Tim Pennington, editor of finishingandcoating.com. And again, today we've got another topic we're going to discuss with Fernando Carminholi from Hubbard-Hall. And this one's going to be membrane filtration for cleaners.
You're listening to the Seen and Solved podcast brought to you by Hubbard-Hall. Better results, less chemistry.
Fernando, thanks for joining us again today.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Tim, to having me. Yeah, that will be a pleasure to explain a little bit more about membrane filtration. So that's not a uncommon thing. When we're talking about chemicals, filtration is part of the process. A lot of different markets use membrane filtration, and that could be a broad of different filtration. I would say most of the medical market that produce medical devices or pharma, produce drugs, optical market, all the high-end wastewater market, oil and gas, food industries, they use filtration. They use membrane filtration to pick what is the element that they need to filter out from the reaction and keep the another elements working on the process. For our usage on the surface treatment today, it's very common to use filtration on the painting when you're gonna, for example, e-coat. You use membranes to filter the paint, the pigment. So, but today we're talking about membrane filtrations to remove oil from the cleaner. When you're talking about a membrane and you have the liquid that you're gonna filter, that is mainly four different ways that we can call different process. Mm-hmm. The most common, also use it on the plating industry, is the reverse osmosis. So it's very common to separate ions, aqueous, salts, detergents, certain kind of detergents, and those kind of operation that I will describe. That's all related with what is the size of the membrane. The reverse osmosis, I think that is the big pores that we're talking about. Is like about 100 micron pores that you can do a reverse osmosis. So the nanofiltration, that's another word, nanofiltration. You can use, for example, to take dyes from some process or take antibiotics or filter out sugar from a processed food. That will be a really low, it will be like a 0.0001 micron. Another one, we're talking about microfiltration. That's exactly that one that's used on the paint, for example, on the resins. That will be about 1 micron. So today that we're gonna talk a lot, we call ultrafiltration. So ultrafiltration you can use like to select some proteins from the food, from some virus as well, and emulsified oils. So basically, that's exactly what we're talking about. You have a cleaner that will remove the oil from the parts, and this oil will be emulsified on the solution. Mm-hmm. And passing through the membrane. You're going to discuss all the details later, but basically what we'll do is the oil will be trapped and the good cleaner will pass through.
That's what you want it to happen there, correct? Right. So it gets through with that.
Yeah, we need the good juice.
Right. Keep the bad out, kind of like my cholesterol, right? Good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. That's right. With that, yeah. That's right. So okay, so let's so you got a shop that says that that they're dumping their cleaner solution way too soon, or way too often, I should say. So what process is suitable for membrane filtration there?
Okay, so this, first of all, this is a patent. The membrane is patented. This is the company that Hubbard-Hall acquired.
Yes, Arbortech.
Yeah, Arbortech, exactly. And that's why we branded now as AquaEase Infinity. So this is metallic membrane. That's another thing. That's a kind of different membranes that we can talk later. But they're already 40 market.
Right.
What is the most common market that they use this kind of ultrafiltration by the metallic membranes? I would say company that produce fasteners, everything that is loaded with oil,
Right.
everything that is loaded with oil on the soak tank, that this a processing tank will be holded, and then you have parts coming up loaded with oil and need to be out free of oil, like fasteners carrying a lot of oils, tubes carry a lot of oils,
Right.
brake calipers carry a lot of oils, like everything that is stamped, like steel stamped, then use the bending fluid, reel to reel line that produce coils. That's also a lot of material, not that much oil, but you produce a huge area in a small tank normally. So those are some of the markets that we see that we could be used. You could extend the cleaner life using membrane filtration.
Right. Okay. Great. So if somebody has a spray machine chamber with a split cleaner, would that be something that would be a candidate for using the membrane filtration?
It depends, yes and no, and I will explain why.
Okay.
When you're talking about a spray machine, you just describe it. This is a split cleaner. Normally, it's a split cleaner because there's a tank on the bottom, the sprays on the top.
Mm-hmm.
The pump will take from the bottom the liquid and spray the good liquid on the solution, on the parts,
Mm-hmm.
and all the oil that will come up from the part will be seated on the top of the solution. So this oil normally you can take out with a weird or a wheel or a oil separator. There is a lot of way that you collect the oil from the top, and that's it. You don't need a membrane filtration.
Gotcha.
So why I said maybe, because so most of the job shops, or even if you do a captive production, it could be a mix of oil that come on the part, okay? And the cleaner, the specific cleaner that you use, it will split, but most of the oils, right? Most of the oils. Some oils could be on the solution, and this oil could be it's going to be emulsified. So just explain what is the one example. What is emulsifying? It's like when you have the milk and you have the percentage of fat or oil that's going to be there. It's emulsified because you cannot see the oil on the milk. It's there. It's mixed. It's the
Right.
water and the oil on the same solution, and you don't see different phase, different than the split. So some of the manufacturers, they will clean parts that the oil on the part could be, some oils will split, some oils will emulsify. But most, I would say it's not common. And then you need to see exactly this operation. But most of this application will be more for soak cleaner.
Gotcha.
When you have a tank,
Mm-hmm.
and then you dunk the parts on the soak solution, and this solution emulsified cleaner, that the surfactant is different.
Hubbard-Hall had purchased Arbatech, which had been around for a long time, very well known, and now you all have it, and you've kind of renamed it the AquaEase Infinity. So, what's the difference, do you think, between those products that you're putting out and maybe some others on the market? What is it the AquaEase Infinity doing so much better?
That is a big difference that we saw on the market, talking about the membrane. So always we look for the customer, and our goal is less chemistry, less discharge. It will be a saving for the customer. It will be a pleasure for us. So if you talk about membranes, there's for example, zeolite or some membranes that is made by plastic,
Mm-hmm.
by like polyurethane or some fibers. So those are rechargeable. You use for certain turnovers, and then you need to dump the filter. Okay. Some, for example, plastic, they're not good for high temperatures, for example. And then
Oh, yeah, true.
if you need to use as like common for a cleaner 170, 160, that will not be good. And then you need to use ceramic. So the ceramic also, it's good for the temperature, but it's not good for the pH. If you use a really high alkaline solution, which you need for some case, that will not be good. And also that's a turnover that you need to dump every, let's say, every cycle. AquaEase Infinity, it is a sinterized stainless steel membrane. We talk about metallic membrane. What it means, it will be suitable for 0 to 200 Fahrenheit. It will be suitable for 0 to 14, the pH.
Okay.
Believe or not, I visited a customer in Ohio, and they produce, they are large tier 2, automotive tier 2, and they using the same membrane for 14 years. If it's not metallic, exactly. If it's not metallic, it will not be there. So imagine the savings that brought a lot. Another point is you will save. What is another difference? It is a marriage between the equipment and the chemicals, right? So in the past, you see a lot of people that try the membranes, but for any cleaner. And then when you start to work on the cleaner, you start to filter out with the membrane. It was good on the beginning, on the first, second day, on the first week.
But then it changes.
And then the efficiency go down. Why? Because some membranes, they strip off the surfactant as well. So because the cleaner, mostly, they're made from builders, which is, the alkalinity for the alkaline and some weak or strong acids for the acid side, but let's focus on the alkaline side. So they're made from builders, and they're made from surfactant. Some surfactant, they're not suitable for ultrafiltration for the membranes. What happened is, as soon as you pass the solution through the filter, it will strip off the surfactant. It means you're gonna check the concentration. The concentration will be there, 5, 7%, 10%, whatever your suppliers say. But there is a lack of surfactant, and then it will not be the surface tension will not be as expected. The cleaning will not be as you expected, and then it start to go down the quality. The marriage between the knowledge on the equipment and knowledge on the chemicals, you can make this really good marriage, and that's the secret to last long.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's my next question is, how long do these membranes last before replacement? You said that one that was there for decades before, but how long do they usually? I mean, what's the averages that you've seen?
That's the point. As soon as you take care of the membranes, as soon as you don't hurt the membrane, it will be forever. It will be forever. Like I said, 14 years. This is already outstanding. And that's a payoff, I don't know how many times.
Right, exactly.
And today they're dumping the cleaner, I would say, every 2 months. Okay. First of all, the membrane, you don't need to worry about the membrane. The membrane will last a lot. It will last longer. You need to be worried how often you need to dump your cleaner to the wastewater or somebody else that will pick it up your waste. So we have customers running already for 3 years with the same cleaner that they used to dump every 4 or 5 weeks.
Wow, that's a tremendous savings if you not even counting the downtime, right? But it's just a tremendous.
You're just talking about the chemicals.
Right,
That's
yeah.
another topic, team. If we're talking about what is the value add that can bring, I know that I've been in so many different customers talking about this technology. Uh, each customer has a different value add. Maybe like I said, the waste that you're not going to produce or the chemicals are not the top advantage. For example, we're talking about a customer that all the concentrated, they're not able to handle the wastewater, and they pay for all the waste to pick it up, all the concentrate. Only this it pay off the equipment in on the 11 months. The return on the investment only looking for this tangible 11 months. If we're talking about, okay, you extend the shop the cleaner life. That's another thing. When you're talking about cleaners, use always the relation between concentration
Hmm.
and how much oil this cleaner can handle. Let's
Right.
say let's put over here one generic example. A cleaner that you need to add as the soap cleaner is a 10%. That's it can handle the oil as like 3%. 5% of oil will be the saturation point. When it's here, they're done. You need to dump because you're not going to produce good parts any longer. So 10% of 10%, and you need 10% because we will handle 2 or 3%. If you have almost zero, we're talking about 0.1%, 0.2% of oil that will be on the solution. And then you can reduce the concentration.
Right.
So it will reduce the amount that you're dragging on the rinses. That would be a saving. That's some tangible, I would say, numbers that you can reach out. You talk about the downtime. Imagine if you dump the solution every 4 weeks, and then all the time. Today you see how difficult it is for find employees. Even if your supplier has a product to deliver to you, it's good. But if not, you have to use as much as efficient you can do. So if you every 4 or 5 weeks you have to dump your cleaner, clean the tank, fill it up with water, put the product, warm it up, heat it up into the temperature, and then start up. This is all production that you're losing.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
That could be a top one on some situation.
Well, it's really the true cost of doing the work, right? It's the true cost of that whole thing. And most people don't know that. They don't have that configured into it, but there is all those things add up. Yeah.
That's why we have a procedure. We always have a procedure in mind when you go and reach those customers. All the customers came to us. If you listen this podcast and you feel that you can be eligible, for example, what is the procedure normally we do? The first, we do one assessment. That's exactly what we're talking about. We're gonna look for the oils if it's compatible with the main brain. We're gonna understand the numbers. For example, if you have a small tank, I would say I don't know, about 50 gallons that you use
Hmm.
a couple, 1 or 2 drums a year. Difficult that it could be a saving on this case, but most of regular applicators that use the cleans part every day, and you have to look for savings. That's the point. We do all the math to see this, what is going to be the scenario before and after the equipment, and then you can have an idea. And we know already some, I would say, some contamination that is a no. That's not going to work. For example, we learn it through the years that stearates. It's not a good contaminant to take over with the membrane, because it can clog the membranes. Even if you use in the higher temp, even if your solution is larger quantity that the flowing. So that's not. But all the the sweet spots are all the petroleum-based oils, all the rust preventatives, everything that will be petroleum-based, that will be the sweet spot for the membrane.
Does membrane filtration help them reclaim their cleaner? Can they do that a lot of times? Is there a problem by doing that? But can it?
Yeah. So the membrane normally clean 98% of the oils.
Mm-hmm.
That will take over. Actually, if you think it will be, I heard from a customer, that will be an oil concentrator actually, because you're using your cleaner and you're removing through your processing, and you have a equipment that will concentrating the oil on the side. That's what it is.
Right.
So it will reclaim 98% of the cleaner. So the difference will be all the solution between oil and water and cleaner that will be discharged or will be treated. But most of the cleaner will come back to the tank. That customer for 14 years that I explained to you, that's a painting. It's a phosphate line that they painting, and then also they strip on the same line on the cleaner, and you see the cleaner. It's completely oiled and black by the paint, and when passed through the machine, it come back look like a fresh cleaner. It sounds like a magic. If you take a beaker and you look through the light, it's completely it's yellowish. It's like fresh cleaner. And that's what the magic happened. And then also we can do this. We have a small machines, bench machines that we can test it out. If the assessment come up good, we can go and try before on the small batch, see what's the result. And then if you like it, that's the way how we're doing now. We're doing like a risk-free trial. You open your line, we put the machine on your line, work for 1, 2, 3 months, whatever you feel comfortable. And if it works, it goes for, a buying or a lease. That's another thing.
It seems like it's a no-lose situation. I mean, really just to try it out and see, how it could work.
Exactly. Even more than no-lose situation, you start to win on the first day. You save on the first day.
Right. You start seeing it right away. That's great information. Well, like you said, I think it's something that a lot of shops should take a look at if they're not using it. Like I said, they could get in touch with you and visit Hubbard-Hall.com and see that all the great information. But I want to thank you again, Fernando, for really explaining that of membrane filtration and the cleaning process. It's been very helpful. And I think a lot of shops definitely should be taking a look at this, just certainly become more efficient.
Exactly. Thank you for the opportunity to clarify some more doubts. Please go to our website, Hubbard-Hall.com. Over there, you can have a web form, and then we're going to reach back to you and see exactly how we can help you.
Great. All right. Thank you, Fernando. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
The Scene in South podcast is brought to you by Hubbard-Hall. For more podcasts, visit Hubbard-Hall.com or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, rate and review, and join us on social media. Produced by AquaEase.